It feels a little bit more expensive than usual.
Honestly,
It's at this point that a treacherous, loud fart heard. What the bloody fuck was that?
Kitty.
Ah, disgusting! How could you act like that in front of customers?
We return to the adventuring party.
Okay.
Sneak around. Sneak.
Okay, they're coming.
Run away. Run away.
That's the first time I've just like had fun with a match in a long time.
Yeah, I was just saying to everybody else that preparing for this campaign has been really stressful, and I found some videos by the Lazy DM that sort of helped break it down and make it simpler and easier for me to manage. I still haven't read the book, even after 6 months. The next game is most likely going to be in 4 weeks' time, just to give me a bit more time to process and get ready and work through it and make sure I've got everything I want good to go. But I digress. I had this conversation already. Elliot, if you would like to provide us with a recap.
All right, so as you said previously, it was session 0D. You like the D? And this is what we did. Session 0 is T. After the party finished their short rest, Guy and Drongo followed Lokk down a side tunnel. The party had noticed for their rest. Croaker quickly checked a crevasse in the wall near the tunnel for other pathways, but only found a dead end. As the rest of the party followed Guy through a passageway, Drongo noticed something wriggling and crawling on the ceiling. Food? He asked out loud. Lokk lifted her gaze and was startled by the sight of a carrion crawler clinging to the ceiling right above them. Frantically, Lokk drew out her metal sphere, casting it to the floor as it grew and unfolded into her construct. Dr. Croaker, still being around the corner, called out to the party, asking what was going on. Approaching the passageway, Dr. Croaker noticed Lokk standing defensively, to which he immediately drew his crossbow ready for himself for whatever might appear. The carrion crawler skidded down the walls directly in front of Guy and Drongo, who immediately threw themselves at the large creature. Lokk fired a crossbow bolt at the creature first, then directed her construct to breathe flame at the beast. Unfortunately, both Guy and Drongo were both caught in a blast of flame, not appreciating the sudden roasting from their own party. Suddenly, a second carrion crawler appeared right above Lokk, striking her from behind, paralyzing her with a sting from its tentacles, followed by a vicious bite, bloodying Lokk in one strike. Dr. Croaker tried to leap at the crawler, but only bounced off its wriggling body, finding himself next to Lokk. Dr. Croaker quickly offered Lokk a potion of healing, extending it out to her, but her paralyzed body refused to respond to accept it. Guy turned, throwing her spear at the crawler that attacked Lokk, skillfully running up the wall to land upon the spear that she had thrown moments ago, embedding itself into the crawler up on the ceiling. Closing the distance so rapidly, Guy threw multiple punches into the crawler, sending sprays of ichor as her fists connected with the beast. The beast returned 2 bites at Guy that she deftly avoided whilst maintaining balance on her spear. Dr. Croaker used his opportunity to tilt Lokk's head back to pour a health potion down her throat, restoring her vigor. Unfortunately, the potion would not be able to help remove the paralysis still affecting her. Croaker distracted the crawler, taking advantage of his poison immunity as it struck out at him, allowing Guy to deal more punches into the crawler. Lokk managed to shake off her paralysis, climbing onto the construct that carried her out and from beneath the crawler that first paralyzed her. Drongo held her ground, fending off the first crawler, using her tail to stab at the beast and poking around the body for tender bits. Guy managed to fell the second crawler, which ended with them both tumbling to the earth as the now dead crawler lost its purchase on the walls. The group turned their efforts on the first crawler that appeared, and yet another crawler appeared behind the first. Lokk's construct sprayed its flame at the remaining crawlers, leaving the first dead on the ground. Dr. Croaker provided Guy with a much-needed health potion, to which she eagerly downed. Lokk fired her lightning lure at the crawler, pulling it to the ground, then proceeded to flamethrower the crawler with her construct. Guy, with her renewed vigor, leveled her spear at the remaining crawler and casted it forward, piercing through the back of the last carrion crawler's head, popping its eye out the front of its socket, where it remained dangling on the bloodied tip of Guy's spear. Well done. Dr. Croaker began harvesting the poisonous tentacles that remained on the dead crawlers, while Drongo poked at their flesh, trying to find any edible bits, but the crawlers only produced a very unappetizing ooze. The party proceeded to the end of the passageway to find a small cavern dimly lit by small rays of light peeking through the cracks in the rocks. Lokk spotted the bones of a dead adventurer laying next to the wooden chest. The body only had some meager wares left on their person, so Lokk focused her efforts on the chest, successfully picking the lock. The chest only contained a folded cloak that seemed in good condition. She didn't find anything particularly interesting about the cloak, so she offered it to Guy since the cloak's length was suitable for someone close to Guy's size. Drongo took the opportunity to lie down in the now empty chest to sleep off her cuts and bruises. The party followed Drongo's cue to have a long rest for the night. Lokk set up watch at the opening of the entrance while Dr. Croaker began assembling his brewing kit to start replenishing his dwindling supply of health potions. His party was prone to injury, it seemed. After tinkering for several hours, patiently and carefully adding and mixing ingredients, Dr. Croaker suddenly leapt into the air, croaking with excitement after seeing that he had successfully brewed his first ever potion of superior healing. During this time, Guy had noticed that her cloak had magically refitted itself to match her size and shape. Lokk had failed to notice that the cloak he had handed Guy had been a magical cloak of protection. Dr. Croaker spent the rest of the evening successfully preparing another potion, but this one was a tasty new poison that he eagerly tucked away to his personal stash. The next morning, as the party began to packing camp, Dr. Croaker popped open a vial from his private stash of poisons and downed the contents to celebrate last night's achievement. The group made it out of the cave, collecting Bill's body from where it was tucked away. After climbing down from the entrance, we came to the place where the bandit that had been left unconscious in the dirt before. Both the bandit and his boots had disappeared, which was a bit of a relief for Croaker. The party continued traveling along the path through the forest, passing some oddly shaped rocks near the path, but the group couldn't quite figure out why they were odd. The day passed without any trouble, so the party set up camp. Drongo foraged for food, Dr. Croaker searched for herbs, and Lokk tinkered with her gear. The next day, the sky seemed grayer than usual as we all continued traveling. Passing midday, a light storm rolled over, bringing with it rain and thunder, but it wasn't strong enough to stop the group from continuing onwards. Dr. Croaker started chatting with Drongo as they walked, inquiring about her tale she kept making appear and disappear. The conversation followed on from there as Dr. Croaker and Drongo chatted about family and why Croaker could talk Common. He explained he was taught how to speak Common from his friend Gregor, and that the Grungs don't really have family. Drongo couldn't remember her family and innocently poked up saying, "Now Drongo family." Croaker politely agreed, to which Drongo affectionately chirped "Frog" in Croaker's direction. Croaker playfully responded with "Goblin," which returned a happy giggle from Drongo. Croaker took the opportunity to invite Guy into the conversation, asking where she was from. She said she was up in the mountains, far from here. Guy had been traveling with Bill to Redlock. Along the journey, Guy had been separated from Bill and had found Drongo instead, who was at the time locked up in a cage. Guy rescued Drongo and later discovered that Bill had been murdered by somebody. Guy had collected Bill's body and traveled with Drongo, heading to Redlock ever since. Croaker gave a quick insight into how he had discovered Lokk in a pile of trash, to which Drongo piped up, "Lokk no trash, Lokk compost." Lokk had a good chuckle at that. The party set up camp in the rain, Dr. Croaker brewing away in a dry nook. Guy took this time to go off and forage for herbs of her own. She attempted to find a spot of her own to try and process these herbs, but could not find any proper shelter from the rain, which ruined her first attempt. Dr. Croaker noticed Guy struggling and offered her a spot next to him out of the rain. Guy seemed to be struggling in her efforts to craft with these herbs, so Croaker offered his assistance and guided her through the process, rewarding her with a simple potion of healing for her efforts. The next morning, the storm had passed, but the wind had picked up a bit more since yesterday. Lokk was suspicious to this change in weather, but it still seemed like natural stormy weather events. Guy addressed the party, rereading the scroll she had collected from the bandits, making sure to outline the fact that the people are being taken to the temple and that Bastian Thermander was involved in this. Guy intended to deliver Bill's body back to his family in Redlock. Guy asked the party whether they were keen to continue traveling with her to the temple, find out what was going on there. The party was keen to continue traveling along together. The next day, the stormy weather had cleared, revealing a lovely sunny day. With nothing left hindering our travels, the party had finally made it to Redlock.
Okay, so if you guys can all transition to Redlock Village, please. This area is going to be Theater of the Mind, because it's just a big fuck off village. But I am posting the map of Redlock. Whoops, wrong thing.
Nice. So animated.
Yeah, no.
Hey.
Yeah, it's a huge village town.
I like this smiley face in the upper left.
I mean, I don't know.
I guess I see it. Kind of looks like a cat.
Fair enough.
But the bottom left symbol is important. Yeah.
So, you guys,
You guys.
it's between early and mid-morning you arrive, and people are animated. They're around. They're moving. There's not so much a hustle and bustle, but there's some activity about through the street.
Yeah,
And you
sorry.
guys, you guys are coming in from, I believe, the west.
Yep.
Coming in from the west. Okay.
West is
Yep. It has a compass on it, don't you worry.
so. What would the party like to do?
Well, Drongo's just gonna cling to Guy's leg and just growl at everyone that passes, because every person that this group comes upon attacks him. So she's just waiting for the fight.
Okay, as you begin to walk through the town, people don't. I mean, they're looking at you, but at the same time, they're not really paying you much attention. And it's odd, like, whereas previously Drongo, any, commoners or anybody in general would see Drongo, they would come face to face. But for some reason, they're not really paying you any mind.
How do they look? People walking around.
Can you elaborate on this question?
Are they looking like they're trying to? How do I say it? They don't look happy or normal village life like.
This, as far as you can tell, it just looks like everyday activity. Nothing more, nothing less. There's nothing out of the ordinary.
And with them not really getting up into Drongo's space, are they actively avoiding our party?
Give me a perception check.
And as he's doing that, can I say that Croaker's kind of like shifted his way behind the group a bit, just to make it seem a little smaller?
Oh,
23. Good start to the day.
It's a
Yeah.
Magic Guy school bus.
23 is a great roll. You're now that's going to be a complimentary check. The DC is going to be pretty low. I need an insight check from you as well.
Yeah, that one's not going to be as good, I don't think.
That doesn't matter. You scored really well in the perception check. So
No, it's 14.
Oh, good.
14. 14's good. You don't sense any hostility. Like you notice a few odd looks at eyes that sort of glance over your party, but for the most part, everything seems fine. All right, so you guys have arrived in going up.
Croaker's just gonna look to Guy and go, do you know where we need to take the money?
No. But I'm gonna start asking around for well, I don't know what the father's name is, do I? Nah, so I'm just gonna ask around for Tom or Thom.
Tom.
Tom, cool. Um. And like to narrow down the search, since this is a big city.
Down. Oh,
Yep.
village?
Village, probably.
More village.
Yeah.
So Tom's with his sickly father, so I'm just gonna ask some people if they know anyone.
Okay, so you start approaching a lady. Her name's Shara, and she looks at you. You both make eye contact, and then she sort of bobs her head around and looks at the rest of the party that's with you, and sort of gives a questionable, concerned look, like that's a bit peculiar, but sort of brings her gaze back to you.
Mm-hmm.
Like, yes, dearie, can I help you?
Yeah, so I'm looking for a guy called Tom. He's possibly at home with a sickly father.
Oh, right.
Um,
Yes, I know a Tom. I know the family. They're in the southern end of town. I don't know which building, but down south you'd be likely to find them if you keep looking.
okay. Well, thanks for your time. Actually, do you know where the the church or the cathedral is around here? Temple?
Well, yes, it's just south of the inn. It's near to the west.
East or west? Have you seen any strange people walking in and out of that?
I mean, dearie, this is kind of the key to the north. You know what I mean? Like we get travels from all around, passing through, left, right. You know, it's the gate to the north. You know, see people from Waterdeep, Everland, Mirabar, Silvery Moon. I mean, Prybor is much the same, it's a little north of here, but I mean, we get all sorts moving through, back and forth. I mean, I'm not one to really ask questions, if you know what I mean.
That's fair. No, well,
Perhaps you should.
thanks for your time.
Sorry,
Hey.
I was going to say, perhaps you'd like to introduce yourself, maybe, for later.
Yeah, someone should probably jump in.
Boing.
Guy's not the most charismatic or people-friendly person, so
The only
she's
other
not going
person
to think to do that.
is
Hey?
Lokk. I don't think Drongo or myself are going to be speaking in this circumstance.
Well, Drongo will be like, "Where Bill House? Where go?" Just yelling at random people. Where Bill House?
Are you holding the body as well while you?
That's right. That's right. Hey, where'd this go?
Shara looks around hearing you and say, "Yeah, as I explained to the young gentleman, down south of the village, you should find their place."
Oh, okay. Thank you.
This is where you like put in that that Aussie slang and just see what happens.
What's movements, guys? What are you doing?
I'm gonna say thanks for your help and give her a gold piece.
Oh, jeez. Okay.
She grabs it and says, "Well, it's mighty kind of you. Thank you. Appreciate it. All the best in your travels." And she pockets it and just finishes up what she's doing and just heads inside.
Alright. Heading south then.
South end of town.
So you went to the south end of town. You're getting some looks. Nothing terrible, but not really comfortable either.
Are there any looks that are specifically like focusing on Croaker?
Give me... I'm wondering, would this be perception or insight?
Oh,
Give me an insight check. Actually, give me a perception check first and then follow it with an insight, please.
alright. Perception is 15. Insight is 7. 15, 7.
There's eyes definitely looking at you. You can't tell if they're of their intent, you know, good or bad. And you also can't tell whether they're focused on you or anybody else in your party.
Alright.
Ever since we entered the town, what's the weather been like?
As you woke up this morning, it's been calm and serene. It's just really nice out.
Alright. Well, I'm happy to follow Guy's lead down south.
Yeah, Drongo assumes Guy knows where to go.
Yeah, I'll just like when we get closer to the south end, I'll just start asking for more specific directions.
Alright, so roll me just a 1d4. Evens female, odds it's male.
I was going to say, like, and you asked the town drunk.
Two.
So evens I said was female. Right?
I think so.
So you notice a lady, she's got a basket in her hand, looks like there's some clothes inside it, and she realizes that you're gazing upon her, and she says, "Well, can I help you, dearie?"
Same person again. Is that you, Sarah? Sorry, Shara. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm looking for Tom.
Oh,
He's supposed to live around here.
2 houses down.
I'll say thanks, and I'll give her another gold as well.
She's like, doesn't know what, like, righto, and just carries on.
It's for eating.
Oops.
Sort of side eyes the goblin, just carries on.
Alright.
Isn't that the name of a band or something? Or is that 3 doors down?
3 doors down.
There we go.
Yeah, so we go to the
Uh,
next 2 houses down.
Okay,
Gonna mentally prepare myself. Bad news.
So I got some good news and...
Special
No, I don't.
delivery.
Please sign here. Are you the owner?
Bring out your dead.
That is a nice house.
I like that. It's a nice boat.
Up the steps. On the steps.
Alright.
Dum, dum, dum. Yeah. Inspect the flowers.
I think I went too close.
That's the door.
Okay,
The roof popped up.
Face through the door. Don't.
Well,
Nice.
well, you knock. Sorry, what are you doing at the door first?
yeah, pretty much knocking.
Okay, so
Like, knock knock, hello.
and you hear some footsteps, and eventually you're greeted by Homina. Yeah, can I help you?
Is your name Tom by any chance?
Who's asking?
Guy? My name is Guy. Are you... Do you have a brother?
Do I know you?
No, you don't know me.
Well,
But I think I know your brother.
what about my brother?
Uh, his name was Bill, right?
He sort of tilts his head to the side and just sort of looks you up and down.
Oh, you did open the door.
Me,
Yeah.
me, Drongo, this Bill.
His face goes from inquisitive to... And he just stands there silently just for a moment. And his arms just plumb down by his side.
Croaker moves over to Drongo and goes, Drongo goes, lay it down.
Okay, she
Alright.
puts it down by the flowers. Bill Drongo, friend.
He takes a step forward and says, yeah, I'm Tom.
Yeah. Kind of explain to him what happened. Like, no, I was hired to keep him safe on the road, but we got ambushed by quite a few bandits. And by the time I managed to catch up to them, he'd already passed away. The weird thing about it was that they were trying to bring him back here to the temple. You wouldn't happen to know any reason why, would you?
I dare say I don't know anything about no temple, but I dare say he would have got my letter.
Yeah, so I hand over the letter.
He looks at it and is like, yeah, that's my writing.
Yeah.
Was this a letter that was told to us, or was this a different letter? Wasn't told. Okay.
We'll
Yeah, I don't think I told you guys this one because it wasn't related to. This is just a letter from Tom to Bill saying that their father was dying and to get him home. It was the reason probably why Bill was on the journey back to Red Lark.
To see his father.
Yeah.
Big oof.
Yeah.
Tom just like he looks a little bit weak at the knees and says, "You might as well come in."
Okay.
Does he seem hesitant about inviting a Grung and a Goblin inside?
Give me an insight check.
What
And then
about
come-
Bill?
Sorry, you said inside check, and that was it?
Yep.
It was good. Now it's just a 10.
Everything seems perfectly fine.
Alright. I'll look to Drongo and go, Drongo, let's just carry it. Just move it inside. We'll find out where he wants to.
Okay. She takes a body, she goes inside, and she looks for a chair to put it on.
As you go inside, Tom now realizes the company that the guy's got, and sort of like as he's sitting down, sort of shakes and knocks over some items on the table. Like, take it there with you.
Take what?
Talking to the guy.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah. They helped me bring him back.
All right. Please close the door behind you. Can I get anybody some tea?
No, I'm all right. I'm gonna say I know it's not much, but take this. I'm gonna give him a sack of gold. Probably got 50 gold pieces in there.
He looks at you puzzled and sort of opens it up and closes. Look back to it. I don't understand. What's this for?
Funeral arrangements. The price of my services. Plus a little extra that he probably had on him, but the bandits took.
Don't understand. Isn't he meant to pay you for your service?
Well, yeah, yes, but it looks like I haven't performed very well this time, so there's no charge. Yeah, I'm just gonna drop the sack on the table.
There's a furrow in his brow. He looks at the sack. He looks at you. He looks over at the rest of the party. He looks at what he assumes is the body of his brother.
Croaker's just going to lean over and just go, where would you like me to put him?
There's a long, drawn sigh that comes from Tom. Like, he just relinquishes his arms and rubs his brow, and he's like, "Please be gentle with him, but please follow me." And he takes you guys back outside and walks around to the back of the property.
Cha.
He's dashed. Keep up with him.
Well, we
Oh,
might as well lay him here already. I mean, you pay for your services, part of the funeral services, as you put it. But, I mean, I could use a hand digging a grave.
Drongo puts the body down and just starts using her hands.
yeah, I'll do what I can.
He hands you a shovel, and they start digging.
Croaker just inspects inspects Bill's body at the moment. Does he know whether it's worth just opening the face at this point, or would it be too decomposed, or was it preserved enough that he might be able to see the face one more time?
Give me a medicine check.
Alright. 22.
You're fairly confident that the body was preserved well enough that you would be able. I mean, it wouldn't be a pretty sight, but you could definitely reveal his face.
I looked at Tom and go, excuse me, Tom. Do you wish to exhume body first before he lay it down? Before it? Or would you like to just put him straight in?
Tom comes over and he looks at the face on the body and like,
I haven't opened it yet. I'm asking this before doing that.
He comes over and says, well, I might as well make sure it's the right body we're putting in here.
Okay, alright, just give me a moment. So, say Drongo. Croaker starts unwrapping it, but specifically moves in a way so that he can kind of block Tom's view of the face for a sec, or at least move his hands or something in the way, so that if the face looks a bit distorted or something, he can kind of do a quick cleanup or something before he shows it.
You do the best you can. I mean, you know, you're not a mortician. You've dealt with bodies before, and there's not much you can really do to a body that's been like this for several days. It's fairly stiff at this point. But you clear away the clay and present it to Tom, and Tom has a look, and he slowly nods his head. Yeah, that's my brother Billa for sure.
I nod and then move any like parchment back down over the face again, so he doesn't have to look much longer.
Thank you. I appreciate you bringing him back to me.
Well, the guy here did most of the work. He did the hard yards, bringing him. Fortunately, I was able to lend a hand.
Well, it don't seem that you'd be here if you didn't have some sort of involvement, so to all of you, I thank you. And the hole's dug, and he asks for some help from Guy. He says, "Can you help me lower this body, please?" And you generally you put him in and you lay him in and start covering it with soil. And is there anything the party likes to do at this point in time?
I was waiting for something. I just had like the sudden thought of like, oh, I search for treasure. Anyway, no, I do not do that.
Excavate a whole gravesite.
Let's try the other ones. Let's see, anything good here?
It's like those games, you put the shovel down and then, treasure comes out automatically.
Lokk plays Danny Boy on the pan flute.
Give me a performance check.
Oh boy.
Remove this cat.
Please don't fuck this up. But if you do, it's still gonna be hilarious.
Pretty much.
Oh god.
Oh. It's a
It's a what? 5 total. Right. Well,
We nailed it.
Drongo is loving it.
Yeah.
it's off key. It's out of tune. It's just not. You're about halfway through the song, and
And she leaves out of embarrassment.
welcome back.
Maybe.
Your partway through this song, and Tom turns around and looks at you and says, "Appreciate what you're trying to do, but let's have some respect for the dead."
Drongo liked it.
And he just stands there, just quiet and sullen. Just seems to go on forever. Is there anything the party wants to...
Drongo just sits down. This was a mission. She doesn't know what to do now.
Just thinking like Croaker doing the whole like the cricket thing, but frogs instead. But no, I'm not doing that. I'm tempted, but I won't. I think Croaker's just gonna respectfully wait for Tom to maybe move away, or at least move. Actually, no, he'll move away to give Tom some space.
Yeah, guys, just gonna sort of internalize the pain this guy's going through. Realizing that it's her fault, kind of. Well, doing the blame yourself for not being able to protect him, and she's gonna eventually turn to him and, I'm sorry this had to happen. My skills weren't up to match. There's not much I can offer you, but if you need anything and I'm around, just let me know. And then I'm gonna start walking away.
Before you walk away, Tom turns his head to her and says, "You've done more than I could have hoped for. I never thought I'd see my brother again. But I mean, at least he's with the family now. I couldn't appreciate more than what you've already done. I just ask what you plan to do now."
Well, we've talked about it, but we're gonna go find out why they were going to take him to the temple. I'm sure everyone here is eager to find out what's going on at this temple.
Yeah, that confuses me. I mean, best of luck. But yeah, just watch out. The roads have been dangerous, to say the least.
Not for us.
Holding back the urge to say, you don't have to tell me. Yeah, I'll give a nod and start walking away back down the street. What time of day is it?
So how about that team?
Do you ask this?
No, he looks up in the sky. Well, she looks up in the sky.
I thought about the thing.
Dr. Croaker, are you doing anything at this point?
If guy starts wandering off, he'll play.
No worries. Lokk.
I'm just casually sitting on the edge of a garden bed eating a carrot. that I've pilfered from the garden.
Tom pays no mind. Drongo, what are you doing?
She's just sitting there, doesn't know what to do.
Alright, so you've got Guy and Croaker currently moving away from the area, and Tom's just standing there, just head nodded down towards the grave.
Lokk asks Tom, he's noticed anything strange about the weather lately.
He stirs for a minute. I think I maybe had something for this. Hold on.
Sorry.
I just thought it was funny. Here's your dead brother. How's the weather?
He pipes up and sort of turns to you and says, weather's been a bit of a mess lately. And as he says that, there's a crack of thunder and lightning. It sort of hits the ground. You just sort of, it catches you off guard. And he sort of looks to it and says, it's usually not so harsh on our crops. That or wild and sporadic. I'm not sure if we'll have a good harvest this year. It's definitely completely out of the ordinary, especially this time of year.
How close was that strike?
Judging from the flash and then like the sound came to you about a couple seconds later, it's a little bit to the distance.
Okay, I thought I misheard that it actually hit right next to us.
Yeah. It wasn't so worth it. So these are very close or far away.
That would have been a bit more of a different intensity.
Yeah. As Croaker begins to follow Guy, he pauses and actually asks Guy, didn't he say something about like his father being sick or something?
If I turn back and look at the tombstones there, I don't know his name, do I? Yeah, I'll just say, yeah, Bill was on his way to see his dying father.
Well, then I pause and kind of turn back and approach Tom. But like made a little bit like, oh wait, come back again. He's like, Tom, I know this is a sensitive moment, but is your father still with us?
He turns his head, he looks at you. Just for a moment, completely deadpan. Like, no change in expression on his face, and he sort of looks away from you and sort of nods his head upwards towards the other two tombstones. And you can read, they're in common. One says, Mother Anne. From what you can tell, died several years ago, and there's Father Josh, and you notice the date says this year.
Yeah.
Oof.
And he just
Not what I expected.
he stands there and just he doesn't mutter a word.
Well, I'll look back to the graves and go, your family will just walk away.
What was that, Elliot? Say it again.
At least your family is with each other now. At least the family's with each other now. Too, but
He gives no response.
yeah, and yeah, I walk away immediately after saying it.
I'm just gonna make my way to the front of the house.
There it is. I was looking for it. Where's the tombstone? There it is.
Bye. Bill, best friend Drongo ever have.
He looks at you. Tom looks at you. Just shakes his head with confusion and just continues to stand by the grave.
And then we raid the house. Go! He's distracted.
What is the party doing?
I think I've ruined one man's evening enough. How about some shopping?
Oh, where would you like to go?
I'll probably take Drongo to get, I don't know, some armor or something if she wants. Or weapons, if there's any of those kind of stores. Because we picked up a bit of loot when we were together, and I've spent my half. Drongo's still got a fair bit that I was holding on to because she was trying to eat it.
So are you looking for a blacksmith?
Yeah.
No worries. You're heading down the town and you see Smith. The ring of the anvil catches your attention as you walk further downtown to the north. And there's some crashing of lightning off in the distance. It seems to be getting just slightly further away. But it rings almost sometimes at the same time that the thunder strike.
Nothing turns a frown upside down like going to the smithy after a funeral. Let's go. Let's go to the
Is that where we're headed?
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you end up at the smithy. Both ends of this soot-stained building is a massive stone blocks that rise into tall, wide chimneys. The din of the forge hammers rings out, and you meet someone as they're hammering away, and it's like, "Gonna help you there, lad."
Are there any like wares out, or is it just she's working on something?
You don't initially see anything.
Say that again.
You don't see anything initially.
Oh, Drongo wouldn't know then. She's just looking at Guy to answer.
I guess I'll ask the blacksmith. Do you have any? I don't know. Maybe I'll quickly, after saying that, turn to Drongo. Be like, would you like a new weapon or armor?
She shrugs. She doesn't understand.
And it's about that moment that the smithy seems to notice Drongo, and he asks very impolitely, he's like, "Is that thing safe?"
Drongo looks behind.
Guy, you're well aware that he's referring to Drongo.
Yeah. I'll just stare back at the blacksmith and just say, "What have you got?"
Croaker says, that thing has a name, and her name is Drongo.
Drongo, stupid cunt.
Oof.
Oh boy.
He seems perplexed by this interaction, and you can't really make heads or tails of it. Alright, well, what you after?
Let's start with weapons. What have you got?
He pulls back this sort of leather curtain, and there's various blades and swords, hammers and shields, just strewn across this wall. Reasonably well presented. Like, they don't necessarily look completely immaculate, but they look of good quality and good make.
Sturdy. Sturdy. Sturdy.
Are there any rapiers specifically?
Yeah, you see two rapiers on the wall.
Drongo will try to reach for one.
He looks over to Guy as he sees Drongo reach for it. And he's holding his hammer in his right hand, and he grips it a little bit tighter. He's like, "I hope you plan to be paying for that."
how about a few practice swings?
On your
Give
I
me,
face.
don't know. Right feel, right?
give me an insight check.
I don't like this guy.
He's probably nervous. It's
The
a
minute I
goblin.
saw him, yeah. Insight. No, 8.
You really can't get rid of him, but he doesn't seem extremely hospitable.
Mhm.
Well, if no one stops you, Drongo will try to take a rapier.
Right, I'll quickly be like, just let her see if it's good fit, and then we'll think about buying it.
What's buying?
He gives you a nod.
I don't know how to explain it. Just you
Oh, not to worry.
see if you like it.
Drongo like, Drongo keep.
Okay. I'm gonna immediately hand over the coins.
Let me just go to.
I find it hilarious that a barbarian wants a rapier. It's like, ooh, fancy weapon. I will smash with this fancy weapon.
Well, she's
Yeah,
been doing a lot of poking with her tail, so that's
Yeah.
kind of, she's growing into that style.
talking to Guy. You don't know if it's defensively or not, but he's like, "That's a good make. That one. Looking at 25 gold pieces."
35.
Drongo will also, she has 2 other weapons. She has a longsword, which she draws, and then a scimitar, which she draws. And she kind of puts them down because she doesn't like them anymore.
Okay. What if I sell you these?
He looks
Points
over
for weapons.
and let me just do a quick math.
Takes off 5 gold off the price for scrap metal.
Drongo's like, what shopping? This mine now.
Oh boy.
He takes a long sword and sort of looks over the blade, whips it around, checks the straightness of the edge, and sort of does a quick twirl, left, right, and rests it down, and then takes up the. Did you say scimitar?
Yeah, scimitar.
Scimitar. Again, looks at the metalwork, looks at the straightness of the blade, and the curve in it, and making sure that it's not bent, and sort of taps it on the table. Give it a swing. Like, tell you what, these two need a little bit of work, but these 5 gold pieces, call it a deal.
Oh, so you only want 5 for the rapier then? And
Well,
the 2 items?
I think that's fair enough deal.
Alright. We'll have that's... Yeah, let's do that.
That's a bargain.
Yep.
Fucking sweet.
As far as Guy knows.
Oh. That's
He's got low charisma, not used to people, and hasn't needed to buy anything like a weapon before. So,
the only person in this group who actually knows this shit is Lokk, and Lock's not saying a thing.
And so Drongo's charisma is more than yours? And
Yeah,
Goblin's
minus
more
1.
charismatic?
well, it could be a good or bad thing. You're more noticeable.
True. She's happy. She just walks out with her new sword. She's loving it. The feel of it, the shape of it. She doesn't seem interested in anything else.
Oh, okay. Well, then I guess arms off the table there. Tell you what, I will replenish my dart supply if he has any. So I'll ask him. Do you have any darts?
Yeah, I've got some dark.
Gary, mate, here you go.
He seems a little more at ease.
I wonder why. This racist. God.
You You failed your insight check. You don't know if he's racist or not.
Yeah.
Well, okay, out of character, this racist.
You still don't know. In character, out of character.
Uh,
He's like, yeah, we got some darts. How many are you looking for?
What flavor?
oh. Let's go 14.
All right, 14. I gotta do shit. I gotta do more math. I actually want to just double check on the characters page. Mike. Sorry, Will. Give me a second.
That's all good.
Hmm.
Because I kept throwing my darts in the darkness, and I figured I'd never be able to find them again.
I mean, yeah.
So you get like neon paint on them or something. This little orange thing in the corner.
It's 5 copper per dart. If that helps. Sorry, I thought I was helping you with your math.
No,
It's a shopkeeper.
Yeah.
Right. All right.
Tell you what.
Rescind that.
Couple silver. Call it a deal.
Okay. 2 silver. There you go.
He hands over 14 darts.
Sweet.
Now, just a heads up, I haven't really been keeping track of how many bolts I've used, but I know I'm on the lower side. So, I guess I too will ask as well. Do you have any crossbow bolts? A quiver of that?
Yeah, I got a quiver or two. You want 1 quiver, 2 quivers?
I only have room for 1. Don't exactly have much carrying space.
Alright, well, 1.5 gold should do it.
Seems kind of steep, isn't it? I haven't checked.
Are you saying that as a character or what?
I'm saying that as a character. I haven't checked, but it sounds steep to me.
You're saying that as a character?
Yes.
Alright, well, what price you got in mind there, lad? Don't usually get your kind around here.
Likewise.
Help us, Lokk!
Inside check into seeing if he's ripping me off.
Roll inside.
Yeah. Oh, that's a 20, a dirty 20.
It feels a little bit more expensive than usual. It's at this point that a treacherous, loud fart heard. What the bloody fuck was that?
Kitty!
You are disgusting. How could you act like that in front of customers?
That good one.
Shocked and
Horrible.
unknowing about what to do. Give me a Wait, what's the requirements of that cantrip? Is it verbal, somatic? Is that just verbal?
An investigation check.
No. Like, what are the components, like requirements of it?
It's just a bit of fleece, so it's somatic and material.
Somatic and material. So somatic is a wave of the hands.
Yeah, so basically the idea is during this interaction, Lokk has, done a flick of the wrist behind her back with a piece of fleece and made this poor man rip a hideous fart.
Give me a... trying to think whether this would be sleight of hand or stealth.
They're both the same.
Well, is she hiding it from him that she's doing this? Then it would be by the hand.
But it would... She's trying to be sneaky, so it would be stealth, wouldn't it?
You're still being sneaky.
I made a point of not interacting with this fellow as he's talking to you guys.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair. Roll me. I'm not sure whether I want to give you advantage or not. roll me a sleight of hand. The DC is not high. DC is not high.
I miss being able to guide people.
Yeah, I don't know how this is gonna go. It's an 8.
The DC was 10.
That's what I was thinking.
He turns around. He looks at. Oh, the shopkeeper turns to you and says, "You trying to have a laugh there, lass?"
I'd say you're trying to have a laugh farting in front of your customers like this. Disgusting behavior.
He's confused. He's like, "I saw you moving your hands around. I know magic when I see it."
What is moving hands against the law? I think farting in front of customers against the law. Disgusting.
But I thought he
Yeah,
did good.
I kind of feel like the transaction's done here.
And I feel like you ripped my friends off.
They
This is the
they
behavior.
they paid a fair price for fair wares. They're quality goods.
Yeah, where's not fair behavior? It's disgusting behavior.
It's so interesting to hear your voice change. You're kind of like South African. Right. Well, yeah, we're done here. We're done.
I tried.
I guess no.
How much do you want to burn this guy's house down?
Depends how closely you're watching me.
Are you asking in or out of character? I need
Out of character.
Out of character.
Guy's not gonna do that. Guy thinks she's been helped by this guy. So
I guess my transaction has been cancelled.
Yeah, he starts closing up the blanket and pulling the bolts back down behind the counter.
Drongo's just happy. She has no idea what happened.
Just a question for future use of this. Part of the spell is if a creature uses its action to examine the sound or image created, the creature can determine that it is an illusion with a successful intelligence check.
Okay, we'll do an intelligence check. We've
already gone through and.
Well, if you roll lower than your 8.
Yeah, no, I'm interested though. I'm really interested. Yeah, okay. They failed their intelligence check.
Oh. Well, yeah.
Rewind.
Just for future reference, it's fine.
Alright, we'll let this one pass, but for future I will roll intelligence check to work out what's going on. But yeah, his passive perception would have been DC 10.
Right. So transaction still cancelled?
I mean, are you saying anything?
No, it's just like I quickly fish out my coin. One gold, one silver. What was it? 1 gold and a silver?
1.5 gold, so 1 gold, 5 silver.
Oh yeah. I quickly fish out and just slap it on the table. Here.
It's just as he's about to slide off the bolts, he's like, he looks over at Lokk, looks back at you, and slides the arrows around the coin that you put on the table and hands them to you as he grabs the coin. And says to you, in a very non-hostile way, "Pleasure doing business." And he turns to Guy and he says, "Just a word of advice. Just be careful with these two. I mean, we've had all sorts come through town before, but some people don't take kindly to strangers."
Which two did he indicate to?
He pointed at Drongo and Dr. Croaker.
I'll just be like, I'll ignore it and walk off.
He's
Alright.
like, I'll lean over and say, I'll look
Slaps
out.
him on, slaps the guy on the shoulder and says, "Watch out for farting racists that run shops. They can ruin your day." And walk off.
If I come across
Like,
any
okay.
I'm just wondering how this halfling is reaching the shoulder of human.
Just like a jump.
I'd still fight him bare knuckle in the back.
comes on a construct and stares him down.
Alright. What's the party doing?
Good.
I think a question earlier was what time of day do we see it as?
It's still early afternoon, mid-afternoon.
Is there anything anyone else would like to do?
We find temple now?
As that's his guy, yeah. Give me like 2 minutes, maybe. I'm gonna try to find a courier service.
That's
Do you think they'd have any?
Hey.
You are not prepared.
You walk down the street and you see all sorts of names and shops, windows. You see, you see Chancerel's fine harness. Got some wagon gear. You see
Wagon.
clothier. You see a bakery. Smells wonderful. You're walking away from Smitty. Find a another kind of butcher. But it seems to be poultry specific. You see a shop sign that says Ironhead Arms. And you keep walking, you see another wagon works place. There's like 20 different places. I want to make sure.
I won't spend too long looking. Probably go. There's a main street, right? I'll probably just wander the main street, and if I don't see anything like that, I'll just return to the party.
Give me a perception check.
$22.
You stumble across Fairlawn's Safe Journey. And yeah. And you notice a workshop. There seems to be a triangle of sheds surrounded by sturdy wooden wagons at all stages of assembly. You see like one of the workshops full of workers. One of the other sheds is storage area, seems to be for parts and stuff, and then you see another like general store entrance that's got a lot of wagon and horse gear, but also seems to have general wares. It seems to also be a general store. Got grains and mostly dry goods, long-term goods.
Grains.
Alright, I'll inquire about deliveries.
Alright,
If they
so
do any.
You enter the store, and is it just you that's entering the store?
Yeah, I think it went off on her own. She said, "Give me 2 minutes," and then headed off.
All right. You're meant by a man who's like, "Hey there, traveler. Name's Thorsk. How can I help you?"
I'm looking to deliver a package to, and I will give the I don't even know where it is, but the location of wherever my mother lives.
In the mountains.
Yeah.
Note to your mother. Yep.
Note to your mother.
And I just inquire how much that would cost.
Yeah, no
Send
worries.
number.
Let's see. Where would your mother be? Like,
Comatage.
yeah, we can do this for you. No problems. Let's see. Destination, travel time.
If it makes it easier, I can come back in a day or time after you finish calculations.
No, he says about 1 silver, 3 copper.
1 silver, 3 copper. Okay. Alright, then I'd like to yeah, we'll deliver a package. I'm just gonna put like 10 gold pieces in there. Send some money back.
Package to your mother.
Yep. And just like a note, all is fine, guy. In my fancy... Wait, did I choose calligraphy?
Did you?
Nah, maybe?
It'll be bottom left of the page. Calligraphy supplied.
Yep. So it's real fancy, like.
That's a fancy but short note.
Yep. Yeah. And I'll just send a 10 gold.
Like, yeah, can do, no problems. Small package like this. Yeah. 1 silver, 3 copper, no problems. Is there anything else you're looking for?
No, that's it, thanks.
Give me an insight check.
9.
Yeah, you don't reveal anything. You make your way out of the store and head back to the rest of the party.
He stole my money.
What? How?
Who stole your money?
Huh?
That was a fair price. I thought, horseback ridden, it'd at least be a few weeks' journey.
Yeah.
Package, not just a letter.
If the package gets there.
Well, he didn't want you to pack this package. He's bring a package.
Yeah. Nah, it's all good. This motherfucker. I mean, taking advantage of left, right, center.
Did you ask for insurance?
Did Bill? No. But he still got it.
He was cheap. That's
Nah, all good. I'll rejoin the party.
Alright, what's the rest of the party doing?
Croaker's just staying out of people's ways and just trying not to be. Well, just staying out of people's ways.
Drongo just picking her nose, looking at everyone.
What was that? Lokk?
Lokk is going to try and find a tavern.
No worries. The crowds seem to start to pick up, and you find yourself at the Swinging Sword Inn. Oh, it's actually just the Swinging Sword. We can change map. Redlark Tavern Inn. Flash it.
Red Lock Tavern. This is where adventures happen, kids. Tavern.
Where you get drunk.
Yeah. Get drongoed.
What's drunk?
Oh boy.
It's getting to early evening at this point. sun hasn't quite set, but getting low in sky.
I've never been in an inn before.
It's big cave.
Big wooden cave. It's kind of funny that like guy's figure looks like it's always floating everywhere. It's like balance floating. Yes.
Drongo is part warning. We'll turn to the others and go, Drongo, go forage for food now.
Ah,
She starts heading out.
we go. Wait.
Oh no.
We might be able to get some food in here.
Okay, if you need food, I see food back there.
Can I see where she's pointing?
You know,
Yeah.
whatever market stalls that we passed that had food on them.
No, we don't touch that.
Oh, is bad food?
Kind of.
Oh, okay.
Boy.
They want something in exchange for it.
You know what trading is? I don't know, stronger.
What's trading?
Well, it's like you have something that I would like, and I have something that you would like, and then we change it over, and that's a trade.
Oh, what frog want? And she starts digging in her bag.
That's more of an example. I don't need anything from you right now, but that's how they work.
Oh,
They-
okay.
They have food, and they like to trade things for food, but they usually like a coin like this. When I pull out a coin, they like these.
Oh, that helped for eating.
Yes, but don't eat these. No.
It starts. It's the gears are turning. They're not there yet, but she does seem to start processing.
I'm expecting her to like start chewing on coins. Like this food tastes bad. I hear the voices.
Did Lokk just like scamper inside?
So as players, what you can do is on doors, for example, if you click on them, there's a little plus icon, and you can click the option to open the door, and then it'll come back to me, and I can accept.
I go next to a guy and go, I'm not sure it's a good idea for me and Drongo to be in there.
Alright. I don't know.
We'll stay out here. It's alright.
No, I'll stay with you.
You sure? Especially Drongo might have a bit of a... It might be interesting to see what happens when she gets in there.
Oh wait, so Drongo's going in?
Yeah, she's going in.
Oh,
She
she
didn't
would,
know
she
any
would.
better.
Alright. Yeah, I'll follow. I'll go inside with him.
Boy. So, do you want me to come with you then?
Might as well. They might be alright.
The inn is a three-story stone structure crowned by a steep plate roof, bristles with many chimneys. A signboard just puts over the door, hanging from chains, is a 10-foot-long carved wooden scimitar, emblazoned in the inn's name in red paint on both sides. An inn yard with stables and outbuildings lies behind the building. It's very warm inside. Like it just feels warm and welcoming. Drongo has never felt it. It's almost luxurious in contrast to what Drongo's used to. Lokk, you sort of feel a little bit at home here. Dr. Croaker, this just has this slight reminiscence. There's some smells in the air that you're not used to, but it's a little bit reminiscent of your old tinkering days. And Guy being well traveled, that just seemed like an ordinary inn to you.
No big deal. Drongo's pupils are dilated. She's just looking around.
Lokk orders some beer.
You're meted by a gruff-sounding Grodjug, who moves up, sees you, Lokk, and says, "Yeah, what can I get for you?"
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, of course. No worries. Got some coming right up. Just the one.
Lokk looks to the party and
Beer.
asks, who's thirsty?
Just the water, please.
And she looks back and says, 4 beers.
Yeah, that's what I thought. No worries. Coming right up. And he looks over at Drongo and Dr. Croaker and looks back at you, looks back at them. They're not going to cause us any trouble, are they?
Not any more than I would.
Right, beer's coming right up. No worries. And he goes and he grabs 4 tankards and he's got them in one hand and just see this keg just pouring and filling as his froth just come to the top. And turns it off and puts it down in front of you. Yeah, that'll be 4 silver.
I hand him a gold and say, keep it coming.
He taps it on the counter and says, "No worries, right on."
Fuck, the charisma of this little gnome. I'm ready to follow him to the ends of the earth.
Croaker goes over to like.
All Lokk wanted to do was drink, so you guys have at it.
He turns around and he places the 4 beers down in front of you and starts spreading them around the counter. Do you do anything?
I just
Croaker
grab one
kinda
and start drinking.
No worries. And he places the rest around the counter.
Yeah, Drongo does the same. Follow suit.
What brings you to the swinging sword?
That's what you say. The beer.
Lokk's just chugging down this beer, so someone else is welcome.
I
to,
follow Lokk. Lokk,
and-
come in here.
Croaker's more curious to like the frothy beer. It's just kind of like I know about beer, but I've never tasted it. It's kind of like the bench is like up to like he's just above his nose kind of things. Like the eyes are just kind of like peeking up, like what is this?
A different kind of poison.
Yeah, so I just come up and kind of like grab it and take it off, and it's like.
Give me a perception check, please.
A perception?
Yeah.
We've been drugged.
Ooh, not great. It was good
Question.
until they kicked it. It's only a 6.
Yes, Kent.
That wasn't me.
Oh, I thought you
Oh,
had
sorry. With the Talespire, how do you get rid of walls and stuff?
Okay, so you've got if you double right click anywhere, that'll come down to the level you're at.
Yeah, cool. Got it.
That'll just help you be where you need.
Awesome. Thanks.
No worries. Yeah, Dr. Croaker, I mean, tastes pretty sweet to you. Like, it's bubbly. It's kind of like water though. There's a hint, there's a flavor, but you don't know what it is.
I'm taking a swig, like, and then I start pouring a little bit over my head.
It's at this point that Grodjug, like, smiling, wiping the jug down, turns around and says, just looks at you and is like, if he's gonna use the beer like that, you're gonna be paying more.
Let's look at him and say, he's not from around here.
Yeah, I fucking gathered that. Shit.
And then has another little sip as he goes like, it feels good on the outside as it does on the inside.
He puts another 4 down. He's not as charismatic this time. He doesn't really separate them around, but he just slides them in the general direction towards the 4 of you. Says, that takes care of that gold.
Yeah, the goblin just guzzles down the second. She likes the bitterness.
It's not bitter. It's surprisingly sweet. It's more of a mead, honey ale. Just
Tolerable.
I'm just sort of like moving the mug aside to the others. Not drinking.
Croaker just
he totally missed the point that you were after water and just pays you no mind. And is just expecting you to have been drinking beer.
Well, Lokk was the one who said 4 beers anyway.
Yeah, pretty much.
Well, if there's extra Drongo, we'll drink that too.
Boy.
That depends on what Lokk does.
True.
Yeah, look, just so we're trying to find this temple, right?
In the west, somewhere. The west part of the town.
Oh, I didn't mean order another round. I meant taking guys' drinks.
No, we understand. That's not a problem.
I asked the barkeep if he knows much about the temple that we're after.
Temple. Ah, shit. Now you got my noggin working. I mean, we've got the All Faith Shrine here in town. Is that what you're talking about?
I look at Guy. Shrug.
Shrugs back.
Fair enough.
It's. How about the name Bastion Commando?
It's just where like the whole room gets quiet and someone drops a glass and it's just like
That gas.
yeah, excellent.
I don't remember how to spell the friggin' name.
Yeah. Bastin.
Yeah, I got it.
And then nah.
It's like, he turns to you and says, yeah, name's not familiar, I'm sorry. I mean, you try asking around, but yeah, I definitely haven't heard of anything like that.
Does he seem like he's avoiding eye contact or anything?
Roll an insight check.
This time, not 20.
Nice.
So 23.
Okay, well, it won't be vague, but he seems to be absolutely positively telling the truth.
Right? The one time they tell him the truth, I waste my natural 20. All good.
Croaker finishes off that little tanker, puts it on the counter and sees another one to kind of do. Grabs another mug.
Alright.
On his head.
You guys think about what you want to do next. We're going to take a quick 10-minute bio break here. We've got about an hour and a half to go. And then we will, we'll work out what the party's doing, where they're going.
Yeah.
Alright. So, you guys are enjoying your tankard, and there's a bustle of activity in this inn. Like, it seems fairly crowded. See a lot of interesting and individual faces. Trying to think how to do this, how to approach that. Just being like, here's all this information. You can take this, just go with it and run. I'd rather you guys sort of find stuff out. Yeah, your own way. Like, what are you guys doing? What's happening about?
Oh, while Croaker is drinking his beer, he's like, what's in this? Like to the button. Yeah, but how's it made?
You know, bit of hops, bit of barley, fermented.
Ah, so it's like vegetables and herbs, eh? That's not bad.
Not really herbs, but yeah.
You making it yourself?
No, we import it from one of our customers. He makes it. Does a fucking good job too.
Too bad. Sometimes it's worth making it yourself as well. You get to really enjoy the experience of making something really good like this.
I mean, we're experimenting, but I mean, nothing as good as this yet. So, I mean, when it happens, it happens.
Oh, what are you experimenting with? Huh?
You know, all sorts of ales and beer and ciders and.
Oh, so there's different kinds of this.
Well, yeah.
Oh, what do you got?
How much you want to spend?
Guess it depends on how much your selection is.
Well, I mean, if you want to spend platinum, I got some really good shit. But I mean, we've got all sorts of stuff in between, yeah? So, just depends on what you're willing to part with.
What would it be like if I had one of everything?
He looks bedazzled by this question, and sort of looks at the shelves and the supplies and...
I guess it wouldn't be this big though, because I don't think I'll be able to fit all that in my belly. But if you had small ones of this, maybe? Sample them?
Small ones. Like, bear with me a moment. And he sort of looks around at what he has on the shelf and does some quick calculations. He's like, tell you what, get your dram of everything we got, really. I mean, you'd be looking at 8 gold.
Yeah, why not? Gotta spend coin, don't I? Finish it, put it on the table, and I find tool and just jump onto it. Alright.
Sorry, Splash, what was that?
Sorry, Lokk throws 8 gold onto the counter and pays for Croaker's drinks.
Well, nothing I like more than a paying customer. And he starts to... There's several different beers come out in front of you, and then he starts moving to wines, and there's like white wines and red wines, and then spirits start coming out, like dark spirits, some bourbons, some whiskeys, some brandies, and then he reaches to this top shelf, and there's this crystal clear liquid in this vial, and pours out the smallest of drops and says, "Yeah, this will put hair in your chest," and hands it over to you, and and lines it up behind the rest of everything that's already in front of you. He's like, "Don't be drinking it all at once now."
Well, my hand's already so big, I'll have to drink them one glass at a time, won't I? So he starts. All right. So Croaker is like, okay. So he starts like sampling each one, starting from the
You
beer.
get all these sweet, savory flavor sensations that you've just never experienced before in your working in a apothecary. It's so unique. There's so many different flavors. You really can't quite put your finger on what you're enjoying the most. You mix it up between some beer, some wine. Like, everybody else is just thinking about... They can't believe the selection is in front of you, but I mean, you're You take your time with it, but you get about halfway through it. Give me a Constitution saving throw with advantage.
Nat 20 will do it. 21.
You're really not feeling anything, but you're enjoying the flavors. What's everybody else doing while this is going down?
Lokk is gonna try and find someone to arm wrestle.
Give me a perception check, please.
Yeah.
Drongo, join in this piece of action.
You don't know what's going on just yet.
True, true.
Got 18.
You notice a half-orc woman at the end of the bar.
That'll do it.
So you go over, and for the most part, this half-orc woman is just keeping to herself.
What are you doing?
I approach her and say, "You look like you could do with an arm wrestle."
And in a slur and a bit of a sway, she's like, "Oh, is that right? Is that the fuck you want an arm wrestle for?"
Shits and giggles.
Fucking shits and giggles. Could throw you with one hand across the room.
Prove it.
Get money where the mouth is.
Hey, okay, let's fucking do this. And sort of like half pushes some stuff across the side. And like she flexes her arms and you see these muscles that just ball up out of her body. And she just sort of like stretches back and you hear this cracking in the sternum, like this. And you know she loosens up. All right, what you got? How much you putting down?
5 gold.
I like those odds. And she slams the rest of her beer down and puts it on the counter to the side. Rolls up his sleeve, grabs 5 gold out, puts it on the table next to you, matches it. And then arm behind her back, gets her right arm ready to wrestle across the counter of the corner of the bar.
Lokk squares up with her, almost comedically, as her hand is as big as my entire arm.
All right. Give me a strength check, not athletics or anything like that. Just straight strength.
Straight.
Is that a natural 20 or just
That is a natural 20 plus 1.
Wow.
Okay.
I didn't even see the roll.
No, she's doing it on that road because it
Having
grabbed
to
it.
do it through an app.
Oh, okay. Jeez.
You are welcome to roll real world dice too if you so desire. Just if you want. Anyway. There's... You grip, and there's a strong hold, and you catch her off guard, and she's halfway down against you. I need you to roll another strength check, please.
18 plus 1.
19. Alright.
You get it. She's like, there's a quarter to go. There's a quarter to go. And she's like, she's getting the drunk sweat. And it just does not look pretty. And she's cussing. She's swearing. Roll one more time for me, please.
Come on, Lokk. Don't fail it.
That's an 11.
She rolled a natural 1.
Oh, yeah!
She's been rolling at disadvantage because she is drunk.
I was wondering if I think that.
And you slam her down. She's like, fuck! Fucking piece of fucking shit, fucking cunt, bitch ass motherfucker. Like, this profanity just flies. She's like, fucking first that fucking caravan, now fucking this. Fine. And sort of like haphazardly like shove the gold towards you. He doesn't flick up or anything off the table, but like you can tell she is pissed off.
Collecting my winnings, Lokk says, it's a pleasure doing business with you. And then flicks her a couple of gold pieces in return. And
She looks puzzled.
asks, so what can you tell me about this caravan?
She looks down the gold and you know she's holding them up in front of you, and then gives you a side eye, and then just grasps the gold and puts them in a pouch. It's like, yeah, about 15 days ago, got in a caravan. Going from Belliard through to Westbridge. They would have landed here about 2 days ago. No fucking idea where they are, but I mean, didn't really see fucking eye to eye with the guard, so I fucking left them. You know, I mean, there was a fight. Naturally, I fucking won. You know, same shit, different day. But I mean, fuck, who knows what happened to them?
I buy us a round of drinks.
Including this half-orc woman?
Yep. I want to get some more.
Bartender looks at you and is like, yeah, that'll be 5 silver. Well, 6 if... Nah, you're fine. Fucking 5's fine. I mean, after spending 8 gold to get a dram of everything on the shelf, he's pretty freaking happy.
How far is I keep thinking Drongo first. Croaker. How far has Croaker gotten into his drinks?
Like this is you've been drinking a little bit. Like you've still got at least a good more than a third left. You're taking your time. You're enjoying it. You're not. Are you taking your time? Are you rushing? Are you?
No,
like,
he'd be savoring, like taking a shot and give it a good swing around.
Yeah, then you're taking time, and you got at least a third left. You're more than halfway.
Then I'll ask the bar. Sorry if I'm not doing anything. I'll ask the bartender. It's just like, so where do you get all this stuff from? Is this all from local, or is this all from around the place too?
Well, I mean, you know, we're out of the gateway to the north, as they say. I mean, some of this from Waterdeep, Mirabar, Silver Moon. I mean, some here in town. We get our hands on what we can, when we can.
So yeah, like, I don't mind these ones. Like, the beers are pretty good. Wines are nice, but it's a little watery than I expected. But these These ones here, what are these ones? Which is like the liqueur ones.
He is like, you got the whiskey, you got the bourbon, and he points it out. He's like, this one's the cognacs, brandy.
They seem to be like strongly fermented kind of ones. Like this, it's definitely medicinal alcohol in this.
Oh, hey, yes. I mean, these put hairs on your chest. I mean, I'm surprised you're still standing, getting halfway through this.
I'm sorry. You know. Why would I keep falling? Why would I fall off my chair when I have something really tasty to taste? Go for another one.
I'll drink to that. And we go back over. He puts another beer over in front of all of you, guy included. Still not noticing that you're drunken yet.
Come on, Drongo. Sorry, Drongo, this is your chances. Keep like grabbing the extra one.
Yeah, no, she is.
Is Guy doing anything?
really want that.
Or Drongo?
Clear liquid to be silvery moonshine.
It likely is. It's gonna be like pure.
Now the DM is inspired.
Yeah, it's gonna be like 89% alcohol. This one's gonna be a shock to the system.
Okay, so these beers come out. Lokk, what are you doing? Like, how are you probing into the conversation?
Like, is any of the party around me?
They're close by. I mean, they're not necessarily standing right next to you, unless you guys choose to.
Yeah, no, Drongo's just focused on
I'll
drinking.
wave Guy over.
Because you're sitting about here because I think you're doing an arm wrestle on the bench, so
Yeah.
pretty soon you're right.
Yeah, I'll wave Guy over.
You'd be about there. Drongos, you sort of move around through the crowd. You get in side-eyed looks. Nothing hostile towards you, but, I mean, they don't look too friendly either.
Very guarded.
Would she feel
Um,
threatened in any
oh,
way?
sorry.
Give me an insight check.
4.
You're fine.
You have really no idea. You just think they're just looking.
That's fine.
bother
She's
you.
just focused on her drink. It's not bothering her.
Just currently like racked 3 on her arm, so she carried the 3 to her, so you can just sit them one at a time.
Alright, so what's going on?
They're hearing the lady talking about the caravan. I wave Guy over, and just ask what else she knows about the events that happened with the caravan, I guess. Just to sort of get Guy's input.
And she starts rattling off. She doesn't seem guarded at all. Like, I mean, couldn't really care what happened to those Barbarians. I mean, but I had nothing to do with it. It's not my fucking problem.
Will, you're muted.
Have been for a while.
That's alright, I wasn't talking. Barbarian.
You know that she's referring to the town of Mirabar.
Okay. We're just gonna whisper to Lokk. Which caravan are we talking about?
Sorry. Lokk just says to Guy, she was talking about the caravan. I thought you might be interesting. She might have information.
Well, I'll ask her then. Does the name Bastion Commander mean anything to her?
She thinks about it. Thinks about it. Fucking nut.
About the temple.
I'll waste another deep natural 20.
I mean, she's very transparent. Like, she's had that much to drink at the moment that you don't feel like she's holding anything back, and you just get that feeling naturally. No wrong.
You can always ask her about like the temple, or if the caravan was involved with the temple.
I was gonna ask what the caravan was transporting.
Oh, you know,
If they're transporting anything.
caravan shit. I don't know. It's fucking delegates from Mirabar. Some dwarven folk. That's books and shit. And I mean, fuck do I know? I was just there for protection, but I mean, those guys are just fucking cunts.
Then where were they heading exactly?
Think about it. Fucking. Down south. I forget the name of the town off the top of my head, but I mean, pass through Belliard, through Westbridge. I mean, as far as I fucking know, they should have been here a couple days ago.
Alright, well... Have you ever been to the temple that's here?
Fuck do I care about praying?
You ever hear anything that goes on in there?
Praying? She looks puzzled and confused, like she's clearly not a religious. I mean, you know, we just watch out for barbarians and shit, but I mean, I thought they would have been well protected for that shit.
Drongo's ears twitch.
Yeah, there it is. You can always
Yeah.
you can ask them if like the caravan is just like if it's common for it to be late or something, or should they be expecting something issues being around that?
How far away is the place they're coming from?
Okay, so I'm gonna hook you guys up with a general map of the area. Go, I gotta download and save it again. Trying to think where they were headed. I can't fucking remember. Out of character, just letting you.
The West Bridge?
That's part of where they were going. But this is the map you guys are on.
Right.
You guys are currently in Redlock, which is towards the bottom left. There's that Headell path from the left that meets up to it at the bottom. That red dotted line.
Alright, yeah.
And you know, Mirabar is to the far north.
Where's Mirror?
It's not on the map, but it's to the north.
Way further north. Okay.
And they were making their way south, obviously.
And through Redlock.
And just where have we come from? The
You've come from the west, so the left of Pendel Park. Peldel Park. By the way.
Alright. I'm gonna ask the orc woman. Were you part of the bodyguard crew?
She looks you up and down and says, well, not fucking anymore.
And why was that? Why'd you leave?
Didn't fucking agree with the guard.
Well, why is that? What did the guard do?
Just shit for brain fucking orders, you know, do this, do that, march here, march there. No. Didn't have fucking time for that shit. Just, nah.
And when did you part ways with them?
Fuck, it was 15 days ago. Hey, I was going through Westbridge. Yeah, but, I mean, we fucking separated. I went a different way. They went whatever fucking way they were going.
Would this, and I'm just trying to clarify, this isn't the caravan that Drongo was in, was it?
Is that out of character? No, that was not the
Okay,
caravan.
that's all I needed to know.
Traveling completely different directions. You were far off west of the map.
Gotcha.
I think it, out of character, pretty safe to assume that bandits weren't stationed only on our path. It'd probably be all over if they were snatching people. Thought process. Back in character. I will ask,
It's about this time. A bunch of you generally look out the window just at a glance because you notice something moving. And there's just a soft snow falling and hitting the ground. Outside the window.
oof, that weather, huh?
It's snowing. Anyway.
Yeah, pretty fucked lately.
Oh, come on, Bobby. I was gonna ask, does it not feel... It doesn't leave a bad taste in your mouth to leave a job half finished?
Don't mean fucking shit to me.
Let's see. I'm gonna walk away at that point. Not interested in conversing with her anymore.
Lokk, is there anything more you're willing to say?
I'll ask her if she knows what's causing the change in the weather.
What? You think I'll fucking change it?
Not you. Can't even win an arm wrestle against a gnome.
Yeah, fuck off.
I laugh and slap her shoulder in a,
Let's swing.
Bar fight!
banter manner.
She nods and said, yeah, you won fucking fair.
Say
move
better
around the
luck next time. And head over to the party again. Because I have no idea what else to ask her.
There are other patrons in this place. You could always have a chat around there if you want.
I think you mean more arm wrestle opponents.
Exactly.
You looking for more people to arm wrestle?
Looks like at least there's a dwarf here that'd probably be interested. Drongo's continuing with his train of thought. Also known as
Lokk would like to just sort of like scan the room, see who's there and if there's anything interesting going on.
You look around the room, no perception check required, and there's all sorts of conversation and chatter, and you hear a little bit about about the mirror bar, people going missing. You hear a few other things, stuff about Aspire, Barbarians. Here's stuff about the local quarry. And there's a number of interesting things you can hear. Like, you can't necessarily make out specific conversation because there's just so much noise inside the tavern that no particular voice stands out for too long.
Just out of curiosity, those corpses we found in the cave, how long had they been there?
You got no idea. There was no check done to...
Yeah. What? Skeletons? Or...
But what we could tell, they were like dried husks and skeletons is what we saw.
Yeah. Well, I think we found them.
Awesome.
No, I don't know. They're off a different path.
You know, just no check required that this doesn't match up with where they were. You didn't find any books or anything like that.
No.
Drongo would like to speak to the tavern keeper again.
I would.
Drongo or Croaker?
Sorry. Croaker. Anyway. I keep going for you first. Like, why? Why is it happening here? Anyway. So as he's like going down his line, like I'm sure he's like down nearing the end of his samples so far. Croaker says, have we asked him his name yet? It's like, what's your name, good man?
Oh, well, Grodug. And he puts out his hand to shake yours.
Groda?
Grordug. Raw Doug.
No.
If you hold the tab button down, you'll see name above it.
Oh, it is. It's way easier. This is like, instead of shaking his hands, I kind of salute him with the drink. It's just like, I'll have to salute you here. You wouldn't want to touch this hand, sorry. But it's good to make your acquaintance.
A bit rude, but he turns around and just pours a bit of ale into a mug he's cleaning and then salutes and chugs it down.
It's just like, wow, well, in that case, I'll turn that upside down and pull out my glove. Everyone, I go, alright, how's that?
He brings his hand in and gives you a real hearty handshake.
Mm-hmm. Excellent. It's like, oh, that's a strong grip there. I guess that's good to being a bartender. Actually, wondering, have there been like caravans of people coming through here, like different than usual? Maybe a bit shady, because we've been on the road and we had some issue with some bandits, and they were kind of collecting people for some reason. I don't know what, but it seems to be something to do with the temple. Does that sound anything like that's been going on around here?
Well, now that you mention it, I mean, there have been some strange going-ons. I mean, this weather, for one, is pretty fucked up.
Oh yeah, you told me we were walking through the heart of the storm. I'm glad we weren't struck by lightning on the way in.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Never strikes twice, at least.
I'd rather not strike at all around me.
I mean, Eden over there. And he points to a guy on the other side of the bar, on the other side of the inn. Yeah, he heard something about a delegation, and then you got Endrith over there. Ended up with some strange book. Don't know how. Why? Seems interesting. That it's peculiar, at least, and I mean, you gotta ask her. She's telling people about it, but I mean, bandits are on the rise around here. A lot of people coming to harm. It's not too great. You know what I mean? Not to mention barbarians. I mean, but they've always been there. Just seeing a lot of problems. I mean,
we've had a bit of that problem. I think there's something to do with this little temple thing. Apparently, they're taking people over there for money, or I don't know for what. I don't really delve into that kind of stuff, but we might be having a look to see into what's going on there. Hopefully, that might be able to.
I mean, then there's Larman over there, the one against the wall. They one of the shepherds around here mentioned about finding some graves. That's about as much as I can give you.
Like the graves, like there are people, the town folk dying.
You'd have to talk to him.
Got it. Well, appreciate the information. Give another shot at. How close am I to the last one?
We kill bad people. We not eat them, though. Drunken's trying to join in.
He looks over at Drongo and says, I appreciate you not eating people, but just be wary. Not many around here are too fond of your the green people.
And
Why?
red city too.
You'll learn someday.
Yeah, don't mind her. She's a good soul. She's got a good muscle on her arm, but she's a good soul.
Can Drongo see the orc from here?
Yeah.
Okay. I'll let this play out.
Alright, well, I lean over to Lokk and kind of point out to her. It's like, apparently there's some stuff going on around here. There's Earden, I think it was. He's over there. I point over to next to the fireplace. It's like, apparently he's been hearing something about like caravans and stuff. We should ask him.
Yep. Lokk orders a fresh beer. Oh, sorry, 2 fresh beers. Pick them up and head over to the table where is it Eden?
Eden, yes.
Heads over to the table with Eden and puts the beer down in front of him.
Give me a... Who's going over?
Lokk.
Just Lokk or anybody else?
I'm busy with my drinks.
Alright,
Just
give me a
Lokk.
perception check, please.
Oh, what? Sorry?
Perception.
Ah, shit. I rolled it in. It's a
It's a 4.
4.
Brilliant.
My disc.
You muted yourself.
She deafened herself as well.
Yeah. You're back. Hello? And
Wow.
Every time she rolls poorly, she panics and leaves.
My Discord again.
No, you're good. With the 4, you just notice that he's got a bit of a collar on, but apart from that, you don't notice anything particular.
A collar, eh? Yeah.
Give me an intelligence check, just a straight intelligence.
Alright. Remind myself not to roll it through bloody. What's my intelligence at? That is a 21.
Ooh,
You notice that it seems to be of a priest variety. This seems to be a holy man.
It's full of holes.
Yeah, when he first said collar, sorry, go on.
No,
No, no.
what were you going to say, Ken?
No, it's not relevant.
No, it is. Well, I just want to hear what you have to say.
It's just when he first said collar, I thought he was like a slave. I didn't think
Yeah.
of priest collar.
Yeah. That's what a 4 in perception will do to you.
A good thing she got the smarts this time.
I placed the beer down in front of him and say, "Evening, father."
He looks down and looks at the beer and says, "God of the dawn to you."
I just nod and start drinking and look over to Croaker. Try and beckon Croaker over.
Cheering from a distance there. Not realizing that you're. Well,
guy.
I noticed that she's beckoning me over.
Give me a Constitution saving throw with advantage, please.
Yeah, it'll pass. That's an 18.
18 is good. You feel a little bit of a sway, and you're like, "Oh, never felt that before," but it disappears as quickly as it.
Yeah. All right. Well, do I notice that this is an actual beckon kind of thing? It's like, okay.
It's up to you.
This is like, I don't know. Well, feel kind of good though. So like, alright. How many drinks did I have left?
You just finished the clear silvery moonshine.
I'm like, after I finish, I'm like, whoa, that's a good drop. Some good stuff, man. You should have some left for yourself too.
Barkeep,
Give him a coin. I flick a Grodug, a coin. It's like, yeah, get you one for yourself. Come on, this is some good stuff.
much obliged, but this don't really cover it. But thank you all the same. It's in his pocket.
I'm gonna spend 1 gold for that. Alright, well then, in that case, it's like, alright, I think I'm being beckoned. I might come back later though. There's some, like a couple of resamples that would be good for that one.
Don't worry, we'll be here.
Oh good, don't you go nowhere. Alright, start heading over. Hey Lokk, you wanna be here too?
Yep.
In the hole that you have minis to work with. There you go.
Wow.
Slightly shorter than the table.
You can choose. Like, oh, excuse me, and I just hop up to this and like squat down. Yeah, it's like, let's get up there.
He looks over and he's a bit shocked, but being the man that he is, he accepts your presence.
Mhm.
Well, what do I owe the beer?
Sorry, what do you say?
To what do I owe the beer?
She's just very generous. That's Lokk. I'm Croaker. I was just talking to Grodug over there. Good man.
good drops at the bar today. You should try that last one. That is like a sort of moonshine kind of one. Oh, some good stuff.
Adron just gives you a smile and a nod.
But I heard through conversation that there's something that you may have known a little bit about, like some caravans of people and stuff and come through town. That's out of the ordinary.
Well, yeah, I tend to roam across these parts. You know, the small towns in the north. I'm a messenger and an iterant priest. Like, I recently came from Eliteot and by the way of the West Bridge. And I can tell you there was a delegation from Millerbar there was in Eliteot about 2-10 days ago. When I left, anyway. And kind of surprised that the dwarves haven't turned up yet. It's kind of strange. I mean, I assume they intended to stop here in Redlock.
Why's that?
I mean, they're a caravan. Always good to stop somewhere and rest your head. And I mean, you look well traveled. It's nothing better than a good night's sleep in a good inn with some good food and a good drink.
I much prefer the rain though, but I don't mind the company.
He looks out the window and is like, well, your rain's a bit white right now, but I mean, sure, why not?
Is it common for them to be late? These dwarves.
I mean, they seem fairly efficient. I expected them about 2 days ago, but I mean, could have gone anywhere really.
Should someone look for them?
I mean, I'm not one for such adventure, but I don't think it could hurt.
Did you say they were coming from Westbridge?
Yeah, I mean,
Is that to the north of here? Oh, sorry, we're quite new here. Are they from the north?
yeah, but I mean, you might find some information at the Feathergale Spire. I mean, the Windwards. They're over that direction. I can tell you about where it is.
The Feathergale Spire? Is that
Yeah,
a building?
the band of Mistrals. They're called the Windwards. They're decent folk. They take over the skies almost, and they watch over the lands. I mean, you might be able to get some information from them.
Alright. Well, hopefully they haven't had any great trouble on the road though. But yeah, we've definitely encountered a bit of issues, but that was to the west. Some brigands, but I'm sure people have that trouble all the time around here, I guess.
I mean, the Sarin Valley, for the most part, has been fairly tame up until, I don't know, I guess you could say 3-6 months ago. Things started to get a little bit uneasy on the roads. You know, you gotta watch out for yourself. I mean, barbarians have always been a problem, but this is something else. This seems to be, you know, bandits. You know, and they seem to be causing all sorts of ruckus problems here and there. It's, yeah, just, you don't go out at night alone for the most part. You want to be off the roads at least.
Has there been like a change of trade or something? Like maybe they've been seeking their eyes on something? Has there been like issues further around this Aryan Valley?
Not,
Any back and forth?
I mean, I travel these parts, but I don't know of what you speak. I can't say that I really know.
Ah, that's alright.
I mean, I can just tell you it's not too safe, and I mean, hopefully that wagon is hasn't come to trouble, to say the least.
Yeah, alright. Well, thank you for the time. I appreciate that. Nice to have a bit of a good chat here once in a while.
It's been a long
yeah,
journey.
I mean, if you don't mind me asking, what sort of creature are you?
I'm not surprised. Apparently, there's not many of us around here. I'm a Grung.
You're the Grung, you say. I mean, you're the first I've seen of you. But you don't really have the best of reputations.
Yeah, I've heard tell. Don't you worry about that. Gotta keep my wits about there myself, of course.
Well, I mean, you must keep an open mind, and I mean, may Lethunder guide you. May the dawn forever shine bright upon you and your friend.
I thank you greatly. But actually, before I go, being a man of religious standings, do you know if there's any areas around here that might require people? People may require medical assistance of any kind. I'm a practitioner in those arts.
I mean, not really. I know there's an orphanage. I know we have the temple, the All Faiths. They might see some hurt people, but I can't say that there's a medical facility of kind of, catch my drift.
Ah, that's fair. Well, if you need anybody for some medical assistance of some kind and I'm around, you're welcome to give me a call. I might be able to give you a hand.
Well, if we happen to be in town at the same time and I know I need your help, I know who to come to.
Well, here's right back to you. Have a good one. I reach out my hand to shake him with the gloved hand.
He hesitantly but wanting to be accepting of people, like takes it in, like hesitates, but then he really gets into it and shakes your hand and gives you a smile and nod and says, "Appreciate it. Stay safe out there. It doesn't look good."
And likewise to you too.
Lokk turns to the priest and says, "You said the temple sees sick people. What about kidnapped people?"
His eyes sort of widen because, I mean, I've heard people going missing, but I haven't heard a kidnapper. I mean, but this whole missing delegation, yeah, has people up in arms, not feeling too great about, the way things worked out. I mean, hopefully they turn up, but yeah, it's just, I mean, with that sort of talk, that sends a shiver down my spine.
So you don't know why anyone would be bringing people to the temple against their will?
Nobody goes to the temple against their will. Nobody. Just he's utterly shocked and confused by the statement.
Okay. I probably can't reach his shoulder. So just like slap him on the hip and say, "Good chat," and walk away.
He gives you like he's a bit dazed, but he's happy and like he appreciates the beer and the ale, holds it up, and may the god of the dawn bless you too.
I feel like this god is someone we should probably be paying attention to.
Goddess of the what, sorry?
God of the dawn, Lethunder. But I mean, if you want information about it, you need to roll for it, not look it up, mettering.
No, I'm taking notes for later. Calm down.
Lathander.
What was the name? Left-hander.
Lethunder.
And
Sounds like Bastion Amanda. Let's check it out.
As Lokk is walking away from the priest and hears him say, God of the Dawn again, she'll turn around and say, "Who is this God of Dawn?"
Well, I mean, I've got some time. You want to take a seat? I can tell you all about this.
Have you seen
Stop points.
For the next hour and a half.
Croaker is still being
We'll
kind of
arm
like in
wrestle,
the...
and you can tell me the short version.
sorry.
Sorry, can you repeat that, please?
It's so good.
Please repeat it. Please repeat it.
I was just saying, we can arm wrestle, and if I win, you give me the short version.
I mean, no need to arm wrestle. I'm willing to give all the information you want. I mean, how long you got? I mean, take a seat, please.
I'd rather the arm wrestle.
Alright, Lokk takes a seat.
And he begins to describe the Morning Lord. He's like, well, there's a deity of creativity, the dawn, renewal, birth, athletic, spring, self-protection, vitality, and youth. He's favored those who've dispelled the undead and blessed those who planted new life. Thanda was also called on and blessed the birth and fertility and related ceremonies. I mean, there's nothing but goodwill. Often when one prays for Lathander, the light will shield thee. That is, I mean, I can only hope that something from Lathander can protect you and help you along the way. Shit, there's a lot more information, but
That's all good. I don't want to put you on the spot. That's fine.
I mean,
Have you heard about Modern Savior?
yeah, that's pretty much where I was going. But like, there's always another dawn, and in dawn, beauty reigns, and the way is clear.
I cheers him and say thank you, happy dawn, and walk off.
As you walk away, you just hear him say, "From death, life." And he bows his head as he raises his tankard, and he takes it.
Well, that last line is concerning. I informed Croaker of that last line and said that dude was creepy.
It seemed like alright.
Continue having a drink at the bar.
Croaker still being kind of like a little bit on the happy buzz, being a little more social than he usually is. Waltz over to Endrith. Now, from what I recall from Grodug, he mentioned that Endrith had a book or something. Is that what was mentioned?
Yes.
Well, I walk nearby and like kind of eavesdrop a little bit just to see if she is actually chatting about this weird book.
Not at this point in time. It just seems to be about things around the town, what's going on, having a drink, having fun.
And did you say Larman was the other person who had some information about something?
I believe I did.
Oh, Kiva.
What? No, I believe I did.
Ah, okay.
Laman was the local shepherd.
Ah.
Someone was also talking about barbarians at some point.
A few people have.
Barbarians.
You had Summith and Roar-Dog talking about him.
So, Croaker
Pushes straight ahead. Whoa, too far. Jumps up here. He goes. To get Laman's attention. Like, oh, hey there! Are you Laman? I was just talking to Gorgand. He said you got in trouble with your flock or something.
Lyman turns near white at the sight of you as soon as you jump up next to him and spills each string. He's like, Jesus fucking Christ, just fucking walking up on people like that. What the fuck's wrong with you?
Oh, no need to be upset. I'm just a little short. It's harder to actually talk people to face if they're really tall.
Yeah, I've never seen a fucking talking frog before.
Grung, actually.
A fucking what?
A grung. I don't need to
Wrong, right, yeah. Right, okay. What can I do for you?
Kind of funny, like the way he's talking looks nothing like what he looks like. It's great. You are-
Making it up as I go.
Sorry?
I'm just making it up as I go.
That's the spirit. Well, I was just having a chat with Grodog. Nice guy. I like his wares. You should try some of that new drop he has. It's like some this moonshine up there. Oh, it'll spike you real good. Apparently it puts hair in your chest. I haven't found any yet, but oh, feels good.
Well, we can't all be affording fine drops like that. I'll stick to me ale, thanks.
Well, apparently I couldn't either, but I was allowed an actual drop. So maybe you could be. But that's not why I'm here, mate. I was just wondering. You said that you may have been having some trouble with like your flock around here recently.
No, my flock's fine, but I stumbled on some graves. They looked fresh. They were shallow.
Graves.
He sighs and like he looks very contemplative about the telling of the story. Like he's just a little bit uncomfortable.
We don't have to talk about it if you don't have to, but all I would like to know is just wondering whereabouts these graves may have been.
Well, they're out there in the Somber Hills.
Somber Hills, eh?
Let me just have a quick look at the map.
Can Lokk be eavesdropping on this conversation by any chance?
Yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Somber Hills.
Yeah, which is pretty much that big hill thing.
Yep.
In the middle. Where?
It's West Bonanza, near Westbridge, where things are happening, and Somber Hills. All the things.
He points out, like, well, he's like, he says, yeah, about 16 miles east, southeast, just below the southern end of the hills. You can get there fairly easy. You just take the Carn Road.
Sorry, just writing notes. East, southeast. Which road? Sorry.
Of the Carn Road.
Carn Road.
Cairn.
Take the Carn Road.
Yeah, he's like, you go to the Feathergate Spire, and it's pretty much directly southeast from there.
I've been hearing a little bit about this. The Spire? The Gale Spire?
Yeah, the Feathergate Spire. You can't go wrong with the Feathergate Spire. The Windwards at the Spire, they protect these lands and they keep a look over evil, and they try to do their best to keep our travelers safe. That's directly to the east of here, as you'd know.
Are these magic folk?
He looks at you puzzled. He's like, no.
How do they protect the land? Are they just guards for this realm area?
Anyone who picks up a sword or bow and arrow very well can be protected anything, if you ask me.
So good common folk.
If you consider what they do common, sure.
That's all right. But anyway, thank you for your time. Sorry about the startlement. just a bit. It's harder to talk to some people when they're much taller than you. But have a good one.
I would just be careful. I mean, you don't look like a regular folk. I mean, we see all sorts that pass through here, but I've never seen a talking frog.
Grung, but understandable. That's fine. You be good now.
He looks confused as you walk away and sort of shrugs. Well,
It's getting late in the night now.
yes.
Yeah. That's on the table. Let's get off the table.
At this point, the sun set.
Anybody else doing stuff?
Just waiting patiently.
Alright, well then I'll lean over to Guy. Well, I'll lean over to Guy and Lokk and goes, so apparently there's some graves, shallow graves up to the northern area. If that's anything to do with these caravans of people being stolen, then maybe something devious happening around it. That might give us a clue on what's going on.
Yeah, maybe. Sounds like a good place to start.
But I'm good to turn in for the night. I think I've had a good night.
Yeah, same.
Alright, so you talk with the innkeeper, and he's like, oh yeah, you might want to talk to Kaylessa. She handles the inn upstairs. She goes, oh, hello, how am I doing? See, you want some rooms? You want one each, or you want to share? I don't understand what sort of arrangement. And she sort of points around the room at you guys. What you need?
Do any of your rooms have a bath in it?
I mean, there's the suite.
Or not after anything particular fancy, just more like, do you have a general barrel that could have some water in it? That's all I need.
She looks at you funny. It's like, I mean, the only running water we got, that's in the suite. Otherwise, they're just rooms. If you want water, you can go outside to the troughs.
Considering.
We can all just pitch in for the suite and stay in one room.
How much be for the suite?
Suite will set you back. There's 4 of you. Yeah, 4 gold.
You got tree?
She furrows her brow. He's not gonna. Sorry. She's not gonna do anything in the room that would be unsavory, would be? Because, I mean, that'd cost you extra.
You got tree in the room?
No trees.
I don't think they have trees inside the building. That's on the
Oh.
outside.
Well, Drongo will go outside and look for a tree.
Drongo just pushes past, goes out the front door, and disappears into the snow falling night.
I'll pitch in with. What would it be now?
3
Still-
gold?
She hasn't changed her price.
What was the price, sorry?
4 gold.
Each?
Alright.
No, 4 gold total.
Alright.
This
I'll
is
toss.
not as
Hands full
petty.
gold across the counter. Impatiently.
I'll chip in 2 gold. And I'll let Lokk pick up the 2 gold.
As the gold moves across the table, Kaylissa just drops a key over on the other side of the table. It's like, just head up all those stairs to your left, and it should be the last door on the right.
Lokk grabs the key and starts walking off as she's talking, saying, "Much obliged."
Oh. I'm gonna run and dash after Drongo. Ah, let me out! Oh,
Much obliged
there we
there.
go.
Come on, camera. Be nice. Nope. Try that again.
So why did Guy follow Drongo?
Because everybody's been giving her funny looks
Oh, she's just gonna go
and
find a tree
telling
to
her
sleep
to.
in.
Yeah, just in case someone was like, some drunk was out there looking for something to
Drongo
fight.
doesn't seem to mind the weather. It's fresh, it's chilly, but I mean, Guy, you notice like it's particularly cold, and you're not so much a fan of this weather. You know, it's
No,
not bothering you per se, but I mean, the snow's melting as it hits the ground, but yeah, you're a little uneasy.
it's mostly there just to make sure Drongo gets into the tree safely without running into anyone.
All right. So, Drongo, you have no trouble finding a tree. The inn's not too far from the woods.
Okay.
And yeah, you guys find your way up to the room. Uh, Dr. Croaker, do you have any plans for the evening?
I run the bath and, run the bath or whatever it is, the water thing, and I just cozy up and snooze inside that.
Cool beans. All right, guys, this is where we are going to end our session.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.